Welcome back to the channel, Cosmic here, and today we're celebrating the launch of Shadowverse Evolve with all 6 starter deck unboxings and a relevant meta list to upgrade these starter lists into at the end of each video. So if you haven't already, maybe this is the first video or maybe it's the last video that you're watching, go check out the other starter deck videos that we have up in case you are interested in those other classes. But we have here the 6th and final one for this series. And of course, the thing that I have to mention in every single video right off the bat is the starter deck list that's on the back and the price tag. So yes, these are $20 to $25 depending on where you're picking them up from, but you'll notice, and hopefully that's coming through in the video itself. I realize that I'm not sure how clear that might have been in the other 5 that I've done now, is that the exclusive cards do come as a play set in these starters. So huge win to Cygames for that. You only have to buy one. And the other thing I'm obligated to mention is the build quality of this and like how nice the unboxing, feel is really high quality stuff. So huge shout out to Cygames and everything they've put together for these packagings. Like, I feel bad knowing that I'm just going to throw these out just because, space reasons and all that jazz. But the unboxing experience is truly, really, really nice for these. So what do you get in there, right? So we have our life counter. We have a rules sheet that's in there with the play point tracker if you want to use it. And of course, the various tokens for damage, life, and keywords you're going to have on the back. I, of course, will just be using dice and other things. So I'm going to throw this to the side with the other 6 that I have now that I have no idea what I'm doing with all these, but that's a later problem for later me, as we love to say around here. And, good for new players, but I'll probably just use some dice and other stuff. But let's get into it. Haven, my second class that I like to play, or craft, depending on which version, because again, it does say class on these instead of craft. But this is more of a control style. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But again, you'll notice that there are some thicker cards here in the back. So we're going to go ahead and split those and talk about what's in the back first. So we do have our evolve points, which are important for if you go second. It gives you a way to just evolution, evolve your followers for 1 cheaper. That great way as a balancing act for it, but there is no limit for evolving. You can go through your full evolve deck, and we'll talk about that towards the end. So we'll come back to that topic. Just good to have. There is a leader card that's included in every starter deck. These are mandatory for organized play. And if you want to bling it out, yes, there is an option to get a foiled version in the main set if you're lucky enough to open one, which will give you additional voice lines within the app itself. I did a preview on that on Twitter, so look for that there if you are interested in. So from there, we have our tokens now. So we have Holy Falcon, which has Storm, and we have our Holy Tiger. There we go. Which has Rush for a 4/4. So these will be created through the various amulets in the deck itself. And of course, we will have a meta deck at the end for amulet control. So look forward to that. But otherwise, let's get into the cards themselves. And of course, good old Skullflame, as he's called. If you haven't found out about this guy yet, I promise you, you will in the very near future. So absolutely insane card for just being able to blow up the field and finding amulets that you need. Really is the heart and soul of amulet control and everything that it wants to be doing. So very, very good card. And we do get the play set, as all of these I have mentioned. You get a play set of the uniques in the starter deck. Moving on from there, we have Hair of Illusions, which again, just absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous card. And also you'll notice for 10, which is an insane cost, but banish each follower on the field. So there are other cards that allow us to do this. Of course, you're just playing this for the 0 and popping it for the other value effects that you get. But in case you need it in a pinch, it can just kind of set the board back to parity and sometimes in your favor if you're playing a amulet control style of deck. From there, we have Priest of the Cudgel, which we'll talk about later because the evolve effect is very important. We have Acolyte's Light, which has a quick effect, banish an enemy follower, and then banish it and give your leader +2. So again, getting more into the control nature of this class now, and those quick time spells being very, very important for sometimes you just want to leave up 4 play points instead of playing something, so you can just take out whatever big spell your opponent, or big follower, your opponent plays. Moving in from there, we have Dual Flame. So this one is an amulet. You can see here at the bottom. Again, Haven has a lot of amulet-based effects. Its fanfare is to summon a Holy Tiger, and then for those that don't know, you can act it, pay 2, so right there, and then put this card into your cemetery, summon another Holy Tiger. So again, this is, as the name would suggest, dual flames or dual Holy Tiger. And we get 3 of those as well. So really great mid-range control option. From there, we have Cruel Priestess, which lets you buy back an amulet, which is a really unique effect, but that's from the main set. We then have Snake Priestess, which gives you ward. So just, again, an early way to survive in case you need it. We have then Ardent Nun, another ward. So again, Haven also has a lot of ward-based followers, and even in later sets gets a ward-focused deck to just try to gum up the board and make sure that you can live long enough to get your bigger followers down. So that's 3 of that. We have Guardian Nun, so Evolve of 1 has ward again, and then if you have a amulet on your field, so that's where you start to see some of that synergy, you get to give this follower a +1, so into a 3/4. Again, good for defensive nature. Hallowed Dogma, this also comes from the main set, but look at the top 5 cards, lets you find an amulet. So again, absolutely a staple in amulet control, as you might imagine, to be able to find the exact amulet that you want when you need it. We then have Death Sentence, another amulet. This lets you just kill something, but you have to wait a turn to use it, so your opponent knows that it's coming, but enough to generally pressure them. Pinion Prayer, this lets us get our Holy Falcon, so this is one that you're definitely going to see a lot of as well, because being able to close out the game when you really need to with those Falcons, or just be able to attack something is really, really important. So this one really just goes a distance and allows you to play it on 1 to set up an amulet for the field, and then get some of those advantages from those followers seeing an amulet on the field. We then had Beastly Vow, so this one comes into field engaged, and you get to summon a Holy Tiger. So again, just more ways to get those Holy Tigers. We love seeing those guys. We're going to get a lot of them. And then, of course, just some neutrals here to round it out. We have Angelic Sword Maiden. We have Healing Angel, just to give us a little bit more life. We have Angelic Snipe, which we've seen this quite a bit of number of times now. And then getting into the Evo deck. So Priest of the Cudgel, on Evolve, select a follower with 3 defense or left on the field and banish it. So again, using the things like Holy Tiger to chip away your opponent's defense and then get to use the Priest to banish it is very important line of play for this deck. Moving on from there, we have the Ardent Nun. During each opponent's turn, this follower deals 2 more damage. So again, it has ward. It can deal more damage back to your opponents and try to punish them for attacking into it. And then, of course, the second to last one here we have is Guardian Nun, ward as well. On Evolve, give your leader +2, so just ways to survive. And then, of course, the Healing Angel, so just giving you a little bit more life. Very, very solid starter deck overall. And then, of course, brings us to the meta list part of the video. So, yes, Skullflame is very, very good of a card itself, just allowing you to deal the damage whenever an amulet leaves play, to deal 2 damage to each enemy leader and follower. So there is a number of plays in this deck where you can line up multiple of these or have 2 of them on the board, and then each amulet leaving deals a whopping 4 damage to their board and to your opponent's face. So again, the good old skill flame, as we like to call it as a joke, just being able to burn down your opponent, because so many of these amulets are just able to either cycle themselves or have ways to give us other followers, which is important to then clean up the rest of the board as needed. So that is the 6th and final starter deck unboxing. Happy Shadowverse Evolve Day. Really excited that after almost a year and a half, we finally get to have this game global, and I do hope it does well, because, again, I've played Shadowverse on and off for 6 years, and I'm a huge fan of the IP itself, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Games, and then obviously working through Bushiroad as well, have planned for the global version of this game. So in the future, hopefully going to be doing 1 video per week for Shadowverse Evolve, just strictly focusing on high-level versus videos. Probably not do all the crazy editing that I've done for other games. Just keep it fresh, keep it, back and forth, lots of interaction, go for it that way, and just try to help put some more content out there, because it's kind of dry right now at the time of recording this. Like, I'd love to see more people put out content for the game, because, again, it is a good game. It's way better than digital Shadowverse, in my very honest opinion, and I think it is one that they're doing a pretty good job with it, that I've been following it in the Japan meta and how they're evolving the game, so I would really love to see this one do a little bit more. So with that, make sure to subscribe for future Shadowverse Evolve content if you haven't. And otherwise, I hope to see you in the next Shadowverse video. So with that, my friends, stay safe, stay hydrated, and we'll see you next time. Bye.